Hello, everybody. Welcome. Sorry for the delay. I tore my studio apart a little bit today, actually a couple days ago, and took a minute to get it back. Hey, I'm live. Okay, cool. Yes, if you have the update to Groove Summit, it's at 1200. I was just going to jam for a minute. I have these new grooves that are really cool. Where you have on the knob fills. Grooves, they go all over the place. So welcome. I'm just, boy, it's been a crazy morning. Welcome. My name's John Limcool. Let's see, is the camera right? The camera's pretty good. I had buttons in the wrong place. I had my headphone jack in the wrong place, so I wasn't hearing the right mix, and the synths weren't working. I was like, oh no! And Taylor, he's on his way to the beach, Oregon coast with his mom. So it's just me. So you guys got to be a little patient. I'll look over at the messages, and if you have questions, feel free to ask them. Good to see you all. Welcome. Hey, greetings from Germany, Ontario, Canada. I love Canada. I don't want Canada to be a state. I am not part of the crew that believes we should be trying to take over Canada or anything else. That's just silly talk. So love all my Canadian brothers and sisters, you know. So, this is a patch. If you want, I can give this to you. It's requiring, it's using a couple additional libraries. This is using Mega Magic Harp for a really cool harp sound. There's a couple pads. Oh my, I got this thing going, so let's pause that. It's also got a couple things going from, what is this? Cutting Edge Magic Motion. So it starts with this, which is one of the Magic Motion patches. And then this is also Magic Harp. Now, if you want to recreate this, all you have to do is load these three patches. Heavenly Motel, Deep Inside. I don't know where I get my name sometimes. And then Fantastic Dreamer. If you've got the two, then okay, I'll give this to you guys. And then it uses Groove Summit. So, okay, let's see. It's a nice patch. I made this a couple days ago when I was making the grooves. These drums are really underplayed, which is kind of cool. And then the cool thing that I've done, and there's 6 different grooves I did this to. I made 8 patterns for the drums. And in the full library, you'll actually see in the window up here the name of the pattern. But there's 3 different grooves. You gotta have, for this kind of vibe, it's like the clunkier the side stick, the better. So I just have this just sticking out there, right? Everything's filtered, everything's short. And then here, let's open up MIDI box so you can see what's happening. So this is playing, this is thoughtful lo-fi groove 2, then the groove 3 goes to snare. And then when you bring this up, you go to fill 1. I kind of did this wrong because I used snare to side stick, so sometimes the fill 2 is snare. So in between these patterns, as well as just isolated by themselves, just the kick. Oh, I'm at the snare right now. Go back to the kick. So if I go down here and I turn these guys back on. Then when you're ready, you can go up to the next thing to a pattern. Let's say groove 2. Bring in this part here. Pattern 3. On the snare. So you can do drummer stuff. And we're actually in this live stream, I'm gonna give you some tips on drum programming. So here, let me save this out and get this to you. So let's go over here, say new folder, libraries. This goes into the user you know what? Yeah, user libraries, loser libraries. Let's see, if I go over here and I reveal in the Finder, you'll need to have the updated version of Groove Summit because these MIDI files are new. So let's do this. Let's go to libraries, user library. I'm going to copy the whole thing into here and then clear out all the things. There's nothing in media, nothing in MIDI folders, and then in patches, we just need the piece we keep. Get rid of all these guys. So it's just going to put this one patch into your user library folder, okay? So let's say compress. And let's go to the patch name. It's called the piece we keep. BPM pad, the piece we keep. And let me see. You know what? Maybe I should I'll update this really quick because I didn't put in here. This is the very drummer information. Patch requires Mega Magic Harp, cutting edge Magic Motion, and Groove Summit Volume 1. Okay, so update, which means I need to say reveal this patch one more time in the Finder. Let me go into here and get this name and then delete it because we need to go back to the user library, to patches. I hope you guys are all doing well. You doing well? Okay, there it is. There it is. Let me double check. Okay, so we compress this. We rename this the pad we keep .guru. We say use Guru. Let's go over here to Mr. Dropbox and to the, we'll put this into the UNIFY freebies. Where is my, oh, that's on freebies, UNIFY Libraries, Groove Summit. I'll put this in here. I've got to compress it one more time so you get a zip file. And then copy the link and paste the link. There you go. I'll put it into the video description as well. Let me do that really quick. Let's see. I don't have this wide enough to see my edit button. There it is. Let's see. Bonus patch. Bonus patch. In user library. A-R-A-R-Y. I can spell. I know it. Save. Okay, so it's in the video description as well as a link in our chat. Good. So a little couple updates here. I don't know if you know this, but I am always on the hunt for musical instruments. I scour Facebook Marketplace almost daily, looking for special things to sample. The bass, the ukulele bass that was in Mega Magic, oh, that was in Eternal Flow or Electric Dreams. Electric Dreams, that's where it was. This bass was a cool find. Oh, I'm on the harmonics. Let's see. Let's go to the mute. And it works so well with the when you get to the splits and you have the synth. And that guitar I also bought on Facebook Marketplace in Portland before I moved here to Idaho. Well, I want to introduce you to a new friend of mine. This is Celine. It's a hollow body Ibanez 18-year-old acoustic guitar. Hollow body, jazz, incredible sound. I can't play it very well. I can make it sound really good. And I'm going to sample it for a library later this year. But that's the newest member of the family. Athena, my dog, came with me on a road trip to about 3 hours away from here is a city called Twin Falls. So we drove there, and I'm doing after I get this program. Cool, Chief. And so we've added a new musical instrument to the family for a library later. Over here in the corner, you can't see it. I bought a Roland RD300S from a studio here in Boise that I will be sampling along with. I need to go see it, but somebody is selling a Yamaha CP70B. So I'll be sampling in a Yamaha electric acoustic grand piano later for a library later this year, which is really exciting. VL70M. Oh yeah, VL70M is very fun for sampling. Yeah, for sure. All right, well, so that's the update on that kind of fun stuff. I have a new plugin from Klevgrand to show you. It's already been unified, so I'll show you that in a little while. Let me give you the update to Groove Summit. As you can see, we are now at 1,200 patches. I'm done making drum grooves for a little while. I've exhausted that part of my brain that was going crazy having to do drum grooves and stuff like that. There's a number of things added. If you go up here to bonus, you can see most, not all because I sometimes forget to put bonus, but all of these additional new summits. There's some really fun ones that there's the no look pass. Technorama for the, and the way that this library works, it's modular and it's very easy to change up things in it. So like if I wanted a different snare, everything's on its own separate track so you can solo to hear. I have two different sets of hi-hats. If I want this tambourine to I could turn it up because it's on its own separate tracks. So everything is modular. If I wanted to distort this, all I have to do is open up Noise Box, bring up the mix. Now it's more choppy. If I wanted to open up the Guru sampler for this, I could bring the decay down. Oh wait, I'm on the wrong one. I'm not shaker. I want to go to the tambourine, which is here. Bring up the decay. You can control each of the components of this. Now, if this snare, if I wanted this to be different, here's the Guru sampler for it. There's a couple ways. If it says drum map right here, then that means that I'm using one of these files and you just cycle through them because there's like tons of snares automatically assigned. This was different. I windowed the keys to C and D, and then I'm calling up the menu, all synth snares, and I'm just calling up sample 54 out of this list of samples. So that means all I have to do is hit the plus button. And let's put it with the groove so we can hear it. Oh, wait. Go back to this. So I could cycle through. That's kind of cool. Maybe I wanted to be lower. If you want to double it, all you have to do is say duplicate layer. It makes it double. And then open up that second Guru's layer. And layer. So you can build up layers like crazy by just playing with fun things like that, right? You did what? I did this one last night. Yes, there's no EQ necessary. I EQ'd these so that you can take this. Let's go over to something like Behemoth, which is one of the bigger libraries, right? Let's go over here. I tend to pre-EQ everything for a mix. So these are done. So all you have to do, let's add a BPM pad and let's turn it down so that everybody fits. And my dog barks. Yay. I need to find a champ and stick. That would be fun. If one showed up for sale here in Idaho, I'd be very surprised. So it's, yeah, they're set for the mix already for most of these grooves. And there's such incredibly easy ways. Anytime you call up one of these, let's go back to bonus so I show you more of the new stuff. Let's say, now this is the new stuff I'm going to show you in a minute. In the Camp 3, I added a whole bunch of stuff. And Camp 4, I added a bunch of stuff. Let's see here. But there's other grooves. Here's Loopy Lotus. If you need to play with the mix to fit your track, go down to the master channel. There's our Flex EQ sitting there. If you need to have it be a little bit less slow deep end, if you want to emphasize a certain frequency, these two frequency EQs in the middle are sweepable the whole range. So you can have it put a little air. Or you can also use this, a really cool trick that I use with EQ. If there's a certain frequency you're trying to get rid of that's kind of bugging you, set your EQ to be sweepable. Turn up your EQ for that one, whatever, if it's in like, say, FAP. This works for any EQ. Turn it to max and sweep. Turn down your speakers so you don't hurt your ears. But find, this will emphasize that frequency that you're trying to get rid of. Then you can go, once you find it, just minimize. If I don't want that mid EQ schmutz, usually between like 500 to 800 is where you find a lot of the frequencies you want to clear out. I can get rid of it just like that. So this EQ is there for you to fine tune things. If you need more finite EQ, like if the kick, if you want to have more sub bottom, There's a really cool secret weapon plugin inside of UNIFY that I use all of the time. Let's do this. Let's get this EQ. It's not that bad. It's only 2.9 dB. That EQ is like very surgical. It's incredible how nice it is for that. If I want this kick to have just a little bit more sub, go over here to the little dot to add a new effect from UNIFY EQ MDA loudness. This does a, I don't know what it does. I think it's a summing of the low end and then a bit of a volume boost. But if you listen here, here's without, I mean, this kick has a lot of low end already. Can you hear the boom? You can also use this to get rid of. Oh, you know what? I'm on the wrong track. That's what's going on, because that's not the kick. So let's do Option, click to get rid of it. Where's the kick coming from? Here's coming from here. I was like, I'm not hearing any change. It's fairly drastic what it does. So let's go down here to the kick. If you go here and you say MDA loudness, there it is. You can get rid of it to subtly bring stuff back or bring it up, but you just be careful. And if you bring it up, you typically want to bring the output down about the same amount so that you keep somewhere in the mix. Usually around 12 is when it starts to really round out for pads and stuff. You know, Spectrasonics, they have this, a lot of their patches just have this like sub weight to it. And I find that if you take something and you add that MDA loudness to a patch, it gives it that same loudness. That's why a lot of the patches inside of UNIFY libraries, we're using that because it does this magic filling out. It gives you these magic, it's awesome, 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 awesome. Okay, so anyway, so there's tons of new things. I added a lot to 3. Subtler variations on percussion, and then very perk jam. This is layering 6 different percussion grooves that are all panned, right? So you got a nice mix. And then they're all using the stack MIDI box, which means that they're all calling up their patterns that you switch. So you can use this to like get all sorts of cool variations. Right? So you can go, it's changing. So you really don't have control over what is changing because, well, if you wanted to, you could actually go in. If there was a particular pattern that you wanted to work at a certain point, like right here, and this shaker pattern is not right, you could change the curvature so it would change the groove that a certain part is playing. So if you, to dial in the exact perfect groove, you can actually use the curvatures to change that around if you want. Okay. There's the drum kits, and there's, there's all these, if you go like this, the very groove, I first made drum kits and then I made patterns. This is the chili pop. And then if you go up here to camp 3, there is a set of grooves now called chili pop right here. And you can call up any one of them. They're all basically using the same. They all have the pattern set up. I decided to make these all this way so you can start with what you wanted. But hey, vendor, welcome. Now these, I let them hit a little hard. It's hard to see here, but it's hitting a little harder than I typically have them hit. There's a couple ways to fix that. You could go to Loud Max. You could bring down the actual output here, which curtails the output. So there's different ways to control. You can also hold down Option and control the Option to just, if I hold down Option, I can bring down all the volumes of everything together, right? But pattern knob, macro knob number 8 is now cycling between 8, actually I think it's 9 because there's a blank as well. So there's blank, and then there's the kick by itself, snare by itself for the first. These are based on the groove number 1. It's hi-hats. And you'll find these as separate patches here. You can see fill 1, fill 2, groove 1, 2, 3, solo kick, snare, and hats. So I did that to 6 different grooves. So you can have drum fills and then go to the grooves. So when you're writing a song, you can actually vary it up. The groove 3 usually has like the ride cymbal, more energy, so it goes from simple basic to a little more complex to like, you know, the bridge and the chorus outs, right? So it just allows you, for a lot of these up here earlier, it's like drastically different grooves when you're using the pattern knob, right? That's cool too, but we can also use this as a drummer. Like Logic has, you know, go to the fills and simpler and stuff like that. All it's doing is changing between different patterns that it has, just like this. So this is like Logic's virtual drummer. And I'm going to show you in a little bit how to make your own grooves like this, right? Using pitch bend wheel. Interesting. To assign to like have it do something. Explain a little bit. Tell me what you're talking about, Kay. I'll use the pitch bend wheel when you are switching or using patterns. Are you just talking about changing the pitch? Hey, Gregory. Now, if you want to use your pitch bend and stuff, you have to turn that on inside of the MIDI box controller so that. Because I gave these a lot of range to work with it. Oh, just to modify the sample patches, right. Right, because there's a lot of range there to play with. I also set these knobs up so if you want to control the decay. Okay, so Chili Papa's one groove. Another groove here is Lo-Fi Light. This is a 2/4 groove, and then there's also Lo-Fi Thoughtful, which is, here, let's do this. If you can't read the patch names because I made them so long, I'm sorry, but I wanted to use long patch names so I could be descriptive. Lo-Fi Thoughtful and again, these are so great with so many of the libraries. I mean, I was playing this with, like, if you go here to, just to split, like the bass and granular or intimate rain. This is from Mega Magic Guitars 3. So you can play with all these patches, and this actually changes the patterns. So you can play and have so much fun. When you're ready for fill, and up here in the window you see it's telling me the groove that I'm playing. So when I go to groove 3, just set this where it says groove 3. So, They work really, really well to play and jam with, have the fills when you want them and all that kind of stuff. And we're going to make one in just a little bit. So Camp 3, remember, I think it was last week, I included the drums from guitars. So there's all the drums from Mega Magic Guitars version 3 that do this stuff. Well, that same Camp 3, but once you get past Camp 9, now you got 10 for Chili Pop. Let's say we load this. Now, if you start loading grooves, you'll notice that this kick pattern, they kind of compete. So this is a good case where you might want to use, there's this really cool trick with Noisebox. You click the intensity and set it to 0, set the mix to max, and now you have the ability to control the low end of just this one groove. So I've taken all the low end out. That thud is gone. So now when I combine it with other grooves, it's there in energy for a little alternate pattern variation, but it's not getting in the way of the drums. So there's all sorts of fun ways to play with this. Okay, after the lo-fi stuff, we did modern pop. This is like 170 beat per minute weekend. Groove 3, the guy's just thrashing. Groove 1 is the main groove. Here's fill 1. And they're 8 measure patterns, which means I did a little added things every now and then at the 4 and the 8 measure mark. So Techno Terror for the Groove 3 is 16th notes busier. Right? So you have those to work with. And then skip hop. I had to do a hip hop kind of thing. Got the right cymbal up beats, all that kind of fun stuff going on. So all of these patterns are available as separates, so that you can just call up Groove 3 if that's what you want to use to build something else. Take that, add modern groove. They won't work, but they kind of work. So the libraries, I'm really happy with how this turned out. There's so much in it to play with. It's just crazy. The funnest thing you can do if you own this library is go to one of the camps, find a patch. Let's go to Camp 1. Okay, that's cool. Then set this to UNIFY Layer and go to Camp 2 and click. Play with your mix a little bit. Do I want this dry? If I want, I could open up this UNIFY Layer and there's a reverb on Insert Layer Auxiliary 1. Maybe I want to make this shorter. Right? Then we can go to Camp 3, which is the acoustic drums, or the patterns, or the drums from guitar. Let's get a drums from guitar groove in here. They just all work together so nicely. And maybe I want to add something crazy now to that reverb. Like I could put a flanger on this. Or if you have your own audio effects, you could go over here to Devious Machines. Put some Infiltrator on the reverb. Let's go to like the really weird distortions. Extreme lo-fi. If you want to go to some of the granular things and so forth, they have these really cool, let's say, beat mashing glitch. So that's playing on just the reverb. So I can have it there. Now, if I wanted to play with this, since this is inside of a UNIFY layer, go to the knobs. Let's go over here to page 4, which usually doesn't have anything assigned to it. Right click to get this editor up and say, give me mix and the master control for auxiliary 1. And the max, I don't want to go to 10 because that probably distort, so I'd set this to 0. Right? So this is now inside of this UNIFY layer. Now I did that first so I could go over here to, let's say, glitch verb, and then right click on this, and now I need to go into, put it to the min max because I want it to just replicate what a knob is doing. Go to that instrument, which is the second one, and go to UNIFY, and down here at the, is that the right one, or did I did it to instrument 2, right? I'm on instrument 2, UNIFY. Did I not name it? I might not have named it. Page 4. Yeah, this is glitch verb. It's probably a good idea to name it so then you can find it again. Okay, now I want to go over here to instrument 2, UNIFY. There it is. So I could say glitch verb. So I've brought that from inside of the UNIFY layer. So now now you hear that it keeps going. The reason for that is the reverb time is long enough that it's allowed to get some glitchy stuff. So if you wanted to perfect this a little bit more, make it like go away, do this. We want to change a parameter in the delay hall. So open up this knob for the glitch verb that's inside this UNIFY layer and open up the Dragonfly hall so we have them both showing. Hit the little ear and change the decay. But before we do that, change this to the equal, which means it's going to choose whatever parameter it's listening to. It's going to grab it and set it just at the value that it's at. Because for the most part, I want it to be at that time, and then only at the last part of the throw, I want it to quickly go to 0. So now, when I do this, it's still going. It's still going. So we might want to take this a step further. We could go over here, keep it on the equals, and go to the auxiliaries. Let's see, auxiliary reverb mix level. And this way we could like say this and bring the volume of that down. So now for sure, it's gone. Because the volume at the bus, if we watch now what this slide knob is doing, it's changing. See auxiliary 1, how it goes down? So I'm changing the auxiliary synth, but I'm also changing the actual volume of that bus. And I can have it so that it just jumps straight up as fast as I want it to, but when I hit 0, it's gone. So that way I can have it totally disappear. A little bit better, cleaner. Then you can like add all sorts of weird things like this. Now, because of the power of UNIFY and how sick this gets, if you want, you could look inside here at what effects are happening here. Let's see here. They're using, let's see, they've got some, let's bring up our knob here. We could play with those, or we could actually look at what each of these effects are doing. And we could, that might be fun to play with. So go over here to this knob, hit the ear, so it's flashing, and just grab frequency. And it grabs it as an assignable. This is still assigned to the glitch at the very top for automation, so I can now go like... And if I wanted to freak this out and make it weird, I could just double click to give it a whole bunch of different values. So it's so easy to mess up things, to have fun with things as you're building. And we haven't even, like, we stopped at camp 3. There's 5 camps. We could go to camp 4. Let's go to camp 4. Let's add like, let's see. How about a power pop? That's cool. And let's go to camp 5. Passions, kibasas. So see how easy it is to add everything up? Hey, Shane. Shane's here. I'm gonna... Oh, yeah. I saw that with Sennheiser. They're closing that one thing down. I haven't looked at... Let's look at that really quick. Thank you, Da Vinci, for sharing that. The Sennheiser microphones. Is it the Momentum? There's some software that they have. Anyway, I saw a news story on that. I haven't followed up on that. So we'll look at that another time. Now, if you guys want this, I can give this to you. Now, remember, it currently requires you to own Infiltrator too, though, to get the cool glitchy stuff. I mean, if you don't have it, it will just play and sound like this, right? So... Now, if we want to take this further, let's do one more thing. If you have Infiltrator, okay, then you guys, I'll give it to you. Let's look at the glitchy thing. Let's say instead of being automated by me, I want this to automatically do some dancing. That is right here, right? This is where Groove, let's see, what do we call it? I keep forgetting the names of my own plugins. CC Writer comes in really handy, because with this, I can like double click and end this. I now have this thing that's moving that if I go into this UNIFY layer that's underneath it, right? CC Writer is the MIDI effect at the top layer talking, and there's a UNIFY as a plugin underneath it. So any knob that I set to CC20 is going to start dancing. So if I go over here and assign to CC20, it's dancing. Now, if I wanted to, I could take this playback rate, and instead of being 1 bar, I could make it really slow, like 8 bars. And then, this is when it gets really fun. Go in here, and now, this is going to require a lot of parameter editing to change. It's doing it over 8 measures now. Right? So it goes to 0 at the beginning of the 8 measure phrase. Now, if I wanted something to jump up more often, like the auxiliary synth, if I wanted this like, let's say I wanted to be down for the first part, then I want to jump up. And then right there at 2, I want it to jump up. So and then right there, I wanted to jump back down and then grow. It's very fun to play with this stuff like this. And I also want the mix level to change. Right there, it's got to go back down to 0. and UNIFY 2 will have better timing controls for this kind of stuff, but you can kind of eye it now. So it goes back down. Now, this can be an optional thing too. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to say auto on off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here. This is on instrument number 2. So let's just have our knob at same, so we can currently just go and say instrument 2, MIDI effect, CC writer bypass. So I can now bypass it when I want, and then go like this and bring it up. And that will allow me to automate not having it, and I want it to be reversed because I want it to be the opposite direction. I want it to be off when it's down, on when it's up. So off when it's down, then this equals turning it on, right? So, because bypass is you're turning on something, turning it off. So, so I don't have automation till I want it. And then it's going to do whatever the CC writer was in the process of doing. But you can bypass it, okay? So, there you go. Oh, let's turn it on. So it's slowly growing. Three. Now it's off. And it comes up. And it's off. So you can enable that or disable that with the knob bypassing a MIDI effect on again, the control is there for these knobs are God. You have the power of the ring. You can control any parameter of any plugin. So let's call this a save. We'll put this in the library. We're going to put a Z on it just so that it's differentiated from everybody else. BPM, Livestream. Let's see, we're using an Livestream infiltrator. Infiltrator. So that's our bonus patch using Devious machines infiltrator version. It's version 2, the current version that's out, right? So go save as and save. So I will give that, let's see. So do I want it to be like that? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so show this in the Finder. I might make something else. So let's not give this away quite yet. Well, let's give this away because this one is unique from what I'm going to do with MIDI files, because that's a whole different. Just got to make sure I could do this for 5 hours straight easily, but I won't reveal in the Finder. So let's do this. Let's go over here to Libraries folder again. We need to open this up, empty out the user library for what we did a minute ago for that free bonus patch that we created that I showed you at the beginning, right? This will be altogether different. So we go here to the libraries. We need to copy over Groove Summit. Where are you at? Copy. And thanks to SSDs, it copies 1.5 gigabytes in like 5 seconds or less. It's crazy. The times we live in, they're great, aren't they? So you don't need any samples. You don't need any MIDI files, media, or key zones. You only need patches, and you only need one patch. So we go up here to the top, or is it down here at the bottom? Yeah, right there. Livestream Infiltrator. Everything else you guys have from getting the download of the updated library like I have here. So this is a UNIFY patch. So let's compress. And we'll call this bonus Livestream Infiltrator. I'm not spelling it right, but and then .guru. Oh wait, TRRA, and then at the end, guru. There, use guru. Go to L Dropbox freebies. This is another one for Groove Summit, so we'll put it in here. Compress. Okay, and we'll say copy Dropbox link, and here it is in the chat if you want it. And I'll put it into the video description as well. Bonus patch 2. This is bonus patch 2 in the bonus patch 2 using Devious machines. Devious machines, Infiltrator. That's now in the video description as well. Are we having fun? I mean, the power is there to just anything you can imagine, anything I can think of as far as libraries go, being able to create something where I have a drum map, drum kits with all of these samples. Make sure you play the hybrid monster kits. These are so fun. This is combining acoustic and synth drums together. All right, so I was going to show you drum programming because a lot of you rely on someone else, such as myself, to do drum programming, and that's fine and it's great. That's why I make libraries like this, and a lot of you buy these, and I thank you. You guys are awesome for supporting me. I thank you. But it's fun to make patches and start. The nice thing with drums is you don't have to learn scales, modes, chords, finger voicings and stuff. It's rhythmic. But the important thing you have to know for drum programming is what are the elements of a drum kit and what parts do they play in making a rhythm. That's what really differentiates drums from things. This is your metronome. This is your timekeeper for your groove, right? So here, we're going to quit UNIFY from the standalone. And we're going to call up inside of Logic. This is where I have my microphone. And I have UNIFY right here. I can call up. Hello, UNIFY. Let's go to Groove Summit. And I'm going to call up one of those. I love those hybrid kits. They're so fun to play. So let's make some patterns for a hybrid kit. Okay, so we go to drum kit, down here to the hybrid monsters. Let's see, which one do we want to play with? Let's do kind of maybe a modern 808 thing, because this is such a, I don't know how many of you guys are into the 808 movement, right? Okay, so the main elements of a groove, most of these, as you go through, the things that I'm changing is the kick, the snare, and the hi-hat. Your hi-hats are these 3 notes, your snare is this 2 notes, and your kick are these 2 notes. So you can, the most basic, and let's do this, we'll start with a really basic pattern so you guys can practice this. And the nice thing with working with a sequencer is you don't have to do it all at once. You know, I'm a drummer. I can sit at my drum kit and play a pattern, play all the parts. Some people aren't coordinated enough to do playing all the parts doesn't quite register. So if you want, you can do it in passes. And what I do sometimes is I'll use in Logic, you can Control Shift and the enter button or return button lets you make duplicates of the exact same kit. There's other commands and stuff you can use for like making the next channel strip and stuff like that. These are all set to the same. So when I play notes and when I bring up the volume, so it's all the same things. That way I can build this in pieces. So if I set this to, this is kind of like about let's say 85 beats per minute. And I need to open this up and get my click just a little bit louder because I'm playing drums and stuff. So if we go over here, there's my metronome. Click here and go to metronome settings. Let's turn the volume up so I can hear. Still not. I'm gonna have it give me a little bit more tone because I need to hear while I'm playing over the drums. So let's go. Now, so what I'm gonna do, let's separate this. Usually everybody can like finger drum on the desktop and stuff. So you can do the kick and the snare together. That's C and D. So just playing C and D together. Right? So it's there. Now, I missed my downbeats and stuff. So let me show you a couple of cool things. If you go to the piano editor, I love to use the piano editor in Logic. I can select all the notes and I can hit Q. This is quantizing right here in front of you. And the great thing with Logic is there's a strength slider that you can change. So you can change the strength of the, I want to have some of my bad timing put back in, so I can set this to strength. Now you notice I quantize everything to 100%. And then I turn off the kick that's at beat 1, because if I jump the time, so it's before 1. So I don't want that to be quantized except for 100%. Everybody else, I want them to be quantized like 80%. The other thing you could do with this, well here, let's add the hi-hats. So now we go to another track, hit record, and I play the hi-hats on F sharp. Okay, if you separate it so you're doing them in 2 passes, for a lot of people that simplifies things, because you're only thinking about the hi-hats, right? So now I have, now let's quantize this to 100%. So we select all the notes, say quantize, deselect the downbeat. Let's bring it down to 80% again. So I want a little skip attitude, little imperfection. Now, if that's not enough imperfection, your DAW will have some tools to play with that can change that. What we have inside of Logic is in your window, there's a thing called the MIDI transform. You can't see it because it's off screen, but it says open MIDI transform. And what this does is if you go down here and you say, don't hide unused parameters, this way it shows you everything. I'm going to go to the timing position and I'm going to say random plus or minus. And I'm going to say like 12. So this is going to randomly change the timing 12 ticks out of 380. So I can go to the hi-hat now. I don't want the downbeat to change. I want it to stay at the downbeat. And I just say operate. And each time I click operate, it's just making everybody move a little bit, randomly plus or minus 12. So by doing that, I want to be kind of sloppy. This is a little bit more laid back, right? I like that. Kind of stanky. Let's say Command J to group this into one groove, because I need it to be one MIDI file in the end, but I want some variations. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to Option drag. So there's my main groove. Now, if I want, I could go to this one here and I could change the notes to make alternates. Like maybe I want a little, now this is where it's nice to have these extra tracks over here. So I can like add a few extra notes. 2, 3. So I added, maybe I don't want to quantize this at all. I just want to be just, it's. These guys, let's get rid of those. Let's do that one more time. So we just hit play. There. Now, this last note, I might have made a boo-boo. So if we click this and we look over here at the last note, I want to make sure it does not go over the line 5. If I can't find the bonus infiltrator in the user library. The bonus infiltrator will be in the Groove Summit library. Falling down the tones, yes. Hi, Bright Band. I totally understand the cooking. I made myself some French toast just before the live stream. Then I had blueberries, and I had to go floss and brush my teeth to make sure I'm not smiling with blueberries in my teeth. All right, so I've got a variation. I'm going to join these. So I have this groove. Here, let's turn off the click for a second. Now, if you want, I'm going to give you this. So I'm going to expand this a little bit to show you some of the other cool things you can do. So this is a kit. It is a drum kit patch, which means when you play it from the keyboard, let's go over so you see the keyboard. There's kicks, there's toms, hi-hats. Up to the right cymbal, everything above that is empty, okay? So you could sneak other things above here. I kind of feel like sneaking. So let's go over here to camp 5 of, oh, actually we want to go down here to the end of the list where the perk menus are. What do we want to add? For this groove, I think it needs a cowbell, would be cool for a little funk. So let's say load this into, and I only need to add, the cowbell's just an instrument, single layer, so I can say add instrument 1. So now it's playing the cowbell across the whole keyboard. I don't want that. I want it to stop somewhere above. And there's all these muted and stuff, so I want to make sure I get those in there. So go over here to the key range and click and drag, or right click and play a note like F, which is above the right cymbal. And then I'm going to transpose this but I want these to be lowered down the keyboard, so I'm going to keep transposing down. There we go. Let's see. I want right here to be some open. There we go. So up to B, I'm going to give this a small range. I have between F. That's stinky. That's really stinky. That's perfect. So let's go over here and let's add this for a variation. So we have this variation now. Hold down Option, click. I'm making alternate grooves, and I'm going to add to it. I didn't have to start with these as I went because I can add to it for the other grooves. So 1. I was a little too lazy. So let's go over here, quantize, 100%, get the downbeat and bring it down so the other ones get to be. Now, there's other groove types, and you can import MIDI files and stuff, but there's these 16th note grooves. I'm going to say D, so it gives it a little bit more swing. And then I'm going to open up the MIDI transform window again. I'm going to say operate. So it's just shifting everything around in timing so it's not perfect. Now I need a shaker on top of that. So this range is my cowbell. I'm going to put a shaker somewhere in this range right here. So I open up UNIFY. I go, let's see, go down to those menus down here at the end again. I want maybe the pill bottle. That'd be nice and stinky. So let's go load the pill bottle, instrument 1 layer. Now I got shakers all over the keyboard. I don't want it to be all over the keyboard, so I'm going to key range it again. As you can see subtly. In UNIFY 2, it's going to be really obvious. But right now, it's just kind of the subtle bar above. You see, that's your key range. Right click if you want, and I want to give this to G. So we'll go up here, say G, and then transpose until I find some shakers that work for what I want to play. So I want some solid. Let's see. It stops there? Really? Huh. Why is it doing that? Let's do this. Let's open up. The other way to transpose is to use the transpose here. Oh, menu. Maybe it has to do, what? Why is it limiting my range? Because I said to go up to, oh. Oh, I set up to G. Duh, silly me. So I have here, transpose, user error. There, that's the variety. I like these samples. I can tell I can do something with these different samples. So let's do this. Let's join these. But I'm going to have the cowbell be available by itself as a pattern. So we'll put it here. I should start naming these so I don't get too confused. So I'll go over here and say just the cowbell. This was groove 1, groove 2. And then this is groove 3. So join these. Option, click to move it here. So groove 3. Now I need to add the shaker for the final groove. So we're going to, I think I'm ready. So, and it's important when you're doing something, kind of establish what your pattern will be and try to be consistent for the pattern. So I could have halfway through started playing like a 16th note steady pattern, but that makes the pattern become, you don't hear that in songs. Typically it's something where, let's have this be a little bit straighter. I need to do 100% again, select the first one, and then bring these down. All right, that's cool. Join. Put that over here for groove 4. And then I'm going to say groove 4. Now I need a couple fills. So the first fill is going to be just like 2. Okay. I repeat this 4 times. Whatever the length of the pattern is, I'm going to repeat it. So whenever I move my knob in UNIFY, it's going to start playing this fill. So join. Now I'm off in timing. So let's go over here and go quantize, maybe to B. Right? Now I need a little hi-hat added to that. So let's go, and maybe a crash. So I made my little fill. Let's see how this sounds. Let's copy that so it's in all 4. So whenever I move my knob to the fill, that's fill 1. Hi, Phil. Nice to meet you. Let's put him over here. And I'm kind of doing these without reference to the other ones before it because I wanted to be kind of like stark. And let's go. This will be busier. So let's get a little busier. All right. Now for this one here, I need to go to 32nd notes. Actually, it's 24th notes. So we go here. Select all these 24th notes. Okay, so to copy these. Again, I want some more cymbals and stuff playing, so we'll, even on the downbeat. Okay, so I got that. I'm doing this kind of quick because I'm getting close to getting over time. J, Q, let's listen to the fill. That's stanky. I like that. So J and call this fill 2. Okay, I'm ready to make my groove. So I'm going to just make a whole bunch of tracks because the way that this works in Logic, any DAW for the most part, I think most of them can do this now. I hope they all can do this. So the fill will be at the end. Fill 1 is above it. Groove 4, 3, 2, 1. So I'm stacking these, as you can see, so that they're just together. I want the cowbell by itself. Then I'm taking groove 1, and I'm going to copy it 3 times. And I'm going to go to the note editor here to quickly just get rid of things so that I can, let's see here, go like this, and like this, so I can see everything. So I'm getting rid for this first one of everything but the kick drum. So I just go everything but the kick drum, bye-bye. Second one, kick drum, bye-bye. Hi-hats, bye-bye. Third one, kick, snare. There you are, bye-bye. So I have kick, I have snare, I have hats. Then I have groove 1, 2, 3, 4, fill 1 and 2. So this is what I did for all 6 of those grooves that you have. I spent more time, it was a little more meticulous. I'm doing this kind of quick. But if I select all of these and I say export, oh, I have to fix a few things. So there's things before the downbeat. That's why you want to quantize. I like to do these manually because I'm just kind of a... Let's see here. Who is before the downbeat? So what are you doing? I also like to get rid of aftertouch because we don't respond to aftertouch. So I usually go through each one of these and do a pass where I get rid of the... I have the notes hidden. So I can just select all the controller data besides notes and get rid of them because I'm not using anything but notes. I'm not using sustain pedal, so I don't have to worry about... No. There and there. So that way, can I export now? No, there's still something before the downbeat. Okay, so I gotta look at these really quick with the notes turned on and look to see who's before the downbeat. Oh, right there. Let's see, that's aftertouch value, I think, right? Yeah, so get rid of those. Notes are fine. It's aftertouch. So notes. I do have a couple here early. So let's see, solo this real quick. Yeah, so we can get rid of those first 2 because I think that these... No, I need those. So 34, 5, 6, 7. Let's see, let's change the timing. The other ones after that, I don't care if they're earlier stuff. It's just to see the downbeats. If you don't pay attention to the downbeats, they're going to get you. So let's get this to be 1. Please. 1. Thank you. And 1. And then this one here. Okay, so we can turn solo off. We should select everything. And I'm going to do one quick pass because I always, since I have them all selected, it's showing me all the notes here in the grid. And I can check really quick to make sure nothing is going after the end of measure 4. Otherwise, your 4 measure loop takes up a 5 measure MIDI file. And so you want to make sure that this should be, I don't have to because I don't have to do that. It could be literally up to right here on the grid. You don't have to do that. But just to, make it an explanation point. Export. So I'm going to go to UNIFY, to the libraries. I'm going to put these, I'm going to give this groove to you. So this is a free bonus groove. Go to Groove Summit, MIDI files. Let's go to the names here. So this is down here in these vary grooves. So we're going to say vary groove. What is this? 85 stank ls because it was done in the live stream. So, wait, did I save this? I might have saved it. Hold on a second here. I think I saved it as a little bit different than what I want to save it as. So let's go libraries, Groove Summit, MIDI files. Yeah. I'm going to copy that name and then delete that. I want to export it one more time because what I want to do is say new folder. That's what I was wanting to make, was a Very Groove folder. And then in here, we'll say 85 stack. So this is a stack, which means that I've got all these MIDI files combined. Afterwards, I always go copy, export, paste, just the cowbell. I also export each of these as separate MIDI files. It takes just a second or two to copy, export each one of these. Copy, export, paste. Groove 1. The names don't even say stank, but they're all going into the same stank folder, right? So here's 3, copy, export, paste, copy the name, export, paste, copy, export. I've done this just a few times. Okay, and then I'm going to save this Logic song as stank, livestream, groove to the desktop so I can have reference to this so that I can delete these, do whatever I want, not worry about it. All right, so we're going to turn off this UNIFY because now we need to build it in UNIFY. And I like to do these in the standalone for some reason. Don't ask me why. It's just so. Let's go over here to UNIFY. I still have to show you another plugin, don't I? This takes a long time. And I'm rushing super fast to get this all in. So let's go Groove Summit. Let's find that drum kit. I can't remember exactly which drum kit I was. Let's see here. Let's go Logic really quick. That was a Monster 1. Okay, so we go down here to Monster 1, Hybrid Monster. Right? So to get this to work, right now it's set up to play live. I want it to actually, you know what I'm going to do? Let's do this. I want to save it inside of this Logic because I have all that stuff I set up, right? For the mapping and the shaker. Save as, I just got to make sure I get this to you guys. Monster LS, and we'll put it a Z so it shows up down at the end of the list. Save as, save. That way I can go to UNIFY. I can say refresh the library. Now at the end of the list will be Monster Livestream. Okay, and I can turn back off the one inside of Logic. Now, to get this to work with the MIDI files, you have to connect this to a MIDI file player, right? So if you go to Layers, add MIDI effects, MIDI box and jitterbox, and I want jitterbox's timing to be 0 to start. And then it's a little bit of a slow process. Sorry, we got to go to each one of these layers and connect it. So it takes just a second to go down the list because I made the big complex stack thing. It's a lot of layers, right? But by doing this, I probably don't have this where you can see it right. So let me get a little better. All right, we're almost there. MIDI box in, MIDI box M1. So M1, open up MIDI box. Let's go over here to the libraries and say Groove Summit. Click, and we want to go to Very Groove Lo-Fi Stank Livestream. And we load the Stank stack. And by doing that, as you can see, now all those MIDI files are in here in a stack. So I can say Groove 1. Two's when it really kind of got the feel going. It's those little anticipatory. So let's do this. It's going to go to kit. I'll put this to the Z, BPM drum. We still have to do some work to it. BPM drum. And we're going to call it stank. Socks stank. It's the actual name of it. Livestream. And this is a BPM drum. Made with love during the March 29th live stream. 2025 live stream. Enjoy. And then let's go over here and bring up this stuff here. Then go save as and save. Now the knobs are not set up right. So what I'm going to do is I need to go up here to my grooves that I created in the C3 bank and copy the knobs. I like to use shortcuts because whenever I can, right? So if I go over here to C3, one of these song grooves, if I go to the knobs and I say copy knobs, because this is the same basic layout as I used for stank. So I can go down here to BPM drum, sock stank, and I say paste knob assignments, boom, done. And the shakers, fill. So you can now do drum grooves. And this knob, what it is assigned to, just in case you're curious, is it's the MIDI effect track number parameter inside a MIDI box. That's what we're changing. Now, if we want to take this all the way, and why not? Because life is short, and you guys like to hang out in the live streams if I go over, so I don't have somebody here like gonna like pull me aside. If we go to the library, check this out. So we go libraries. Let's go to Groove Summit, to media, and let's copy this and call this the Very Groove Stank patterns. And then I need to open this in a text editor, and this is the list that's going to show up inside of UNIFY. Now, I don't have blank, I have cowbell. And then I have solo kick, solo snare, hats, groove 1, 2, 3, then groove 4, and then fill 1, 2. It's a little bit more complicated because there's more stuff going on, right? Save that. Now inside of UNIFY, I go to the save, and right here where it says variations, I could choose the stank patterns, update, and so now this is going to show in the window the see? So now I have the name of the groove, so I can see. I think we started so innocently, and then we ended up. Great, more. That's funky, man. And this is using 2 snares already. So it'd be easy to open up Guru Sampler, choose a different mat. We could say like snare, like let's use. I think, let's put this through the room. So you can change up the snare to be anything you want. I'm not gonna, let's do this. Here, if you mess up like this, you can say load as a new UNIFY layer. Solo, go in here, find that snare part that I liked. Because I want to keep that. That's That's just really stanky. That's where the stank comes from. So say copy layer, delete that layer. This is one of my, I'm showing you one of my quick tricks for getting around for if I break something. So I'm going to go back to that snare that I made that's cool, but it needs to be paste, replace. Solo off. That's the vibe. That's stanky right there. Okay, save. So let me get this to you. And for this one, we have to copy over the whole folder and then delete certain things. So I have to have my brains working for me. So let's see how well we do. Everybody wish me good luck. So it's like brain surgery here. Oh, let's see. So let's go over here like that. What is you're seeing? So make sure you're seeing the right stuff. Okay. So we're going to take libraries, delete Groove Summit from that because that was for the one that we did with Infiltrator. This will be a whole different .guru file. So we say Groove Summit, copy it over. Nice and fast. Thank you very much. Then open this up, and I need to make sure that I give you some things. So there's no key zones. There's no samples. I can get rid of those. But there is for patches, right? Let's say date modified so it shows up at the top. So let's say, let's open up the patches folder to make this a little bit easier. So we go to the top. All right, wait, we can find it down here. Sock stank. So that's the only one we don't want to delete. So we say keep sock stank. Sock stank. Just sounds like a, ooh, dude, your sock stinks. Media, we want to save the stank patterns file. So we're going to get rid of everything else but that. And then MIDI files, I want to get rid of everything but the sock stank folder because those other things are included. So what's cool with the way that this works is when you drag this .guru file over, it will only install those 3 files from those 3 different folders. Since these are the same names as the folders in the Groove Summit library, and the library name is Groove Summit, it will just put them in there. So we go compress libraries. This is BPM, drum, sock, stank, Livestream. And then we need to give it a guru. Boom. Use guru. Then we can go over here to our Dropbox again, and I will give you a link. Oh, I want to compress it really quick, right? And plug in Guru freebies, UNIFY Libraries, Groove Summit, sock stank. Okay. So we say copy Dropbox link. We like Dropbox. It goes so fast to keep up with what's happening. I know, I am moving fast. You can go back, watch this video. They're always saved, and you can replay this playing just the specific steps. I'm playing a video game where I have to do this. I have to pause and make sure that at a certain level I do certain things or I'm obliterated and killed. So same thing, okay? So there you go. You got sock stank. And so there's both programming in UNIFY, how to set it up. Right? So play it back at half speed. So the halftime quarter time is changing the numerator and the denominator of MIDI box in funny, crazy ways. So when you go to the left, it goes to halftime. And you can hear all the imperfection in timing, right? Because I got sloppy. Double time. Sometimes it's fun to do a little variety. One thing I didn't do, if you want to do this at home, you'd go down here to the knob and say duplicate links to all layers. That way pitch, filter cutoff, amp decay. If you don't, let me show you. If you don't do that, it's just going to do it to the kick. Well, I actually did it to most of the parts because it was from the assignments. But One snare got missed in the links. But if you go over here and you say duplicate links to all layers, it'll catch everybody and add assignments to everybody, so you can do it. Then just hold down Option and Update, and you can update it, okay? New plugin. Klevgrand released a digital hybrid electric piano. Let's go to them, and I can show it to you. It's called Elpiano, which is, I guess that's how they say electric piano in Sweden. So we'll go never show. Here's the website. It's klevgrand.se. Oh, actually, klevgrand.com. It used to be .sc, but it's just klevgrand.com now. And it's interesting. If you're familiar, Logic Pro has a synthy digital kind of piano. This is very similar to that. I have unified all of the patches of it, and there's a link to these in the video description. We can go to the standard, for example. Let me call it from here. Here it is. So it has all sorts of different patches. It's not sample based. The full plugin is like under 200 megabytes. It has a lot of expressivity, which is really nice. Right? So there's 10 different models. And I'm a little bummed here that they did it this way, because it's obviously, to me, my ears, basically the same model with tweaking parameters. And I wish they just gave us a page that said advanced, so you could edit these parameters and you could maybe get into sounds beyond these 10 presets. But they... You have some effects, chorus. You've got a phaser. Slow it down. They have this graphic interface you can click and drag in. Tremolo. Change the shape of it. You have vibrato as well. They have reverb, a room, and delay. There's a bug where this width doesn't work here, but if you open these parameters, why am I not hearing the delay? I thought I turned it on. Oh, time is short. It has a filter. Unfortunately, it's not a recirculating filter, so if you set it to a lot feedback and you set it to a certain frequency, it stays at that frequency. It doesn't drop in filtering. So it's not very analog in nature in that regard. They didn't give us any parameters for lo-fi, so I gave it lo-fi parameters here, including noise and depth and age and stuff, so you can make it stinky lo-fi if you want from the UNIFY parameters using chow tape model. I also gave it the reverb that's inside of it. Let's see, let's make sure this is bypassed so we don't have any of this happening. The reverb here, they have a handful of different reverbs. You can open these parameters and change the decay time. They just weren't very pretty. There's not a really nice, just wide, normal... They all kind of have like this kind of tanky vibe I wasn't hip to. So I also included just a nice non-colored reverb inside of the unified patches. All of the patches are unified. so that you can layer a couple if you want to have 3 of these pianos playing at once. Or if you want to call them up and layer and stack them. A link to the UNIFY Library is in the video description. It's nice. It plays very nice. I would suggest on this, make sure that you get the demo. Try it out. Make sure before it's $99 on sale, so it's not inexpensive. It's not one of these $29 instant buy no thinkers. So make sure that you dig it. It's not bad. It's somehow based on samples. There's an interesting thing to it. Plays nice soft. I think there's parameters inside of it for velocity. If you get the little settings here, you have curve settings. You can make it bigger if you have a bigger screen too. It's very nice. So we haven't seen many. I'll tell you, Fender released a Rhodes sample piano. And it was very expensive, and when you played hard, it played these really obnoxious samples. Same with Universal Audio. They made an electric piano that I can't play it. When you play hard, you need to speak, but not get like gross. And there's also this drive, which is great, by the way, and cabinets. Hi-fi, stereo or mono. Right? So you can get some cool stuff. And yeah, you can put anything on this you wanted. But each one of the models has a matching interface, which is interesting. So as you change through the patches, there's a patch called Tears, and they have it with this like delay. So I actually made a variation that to me is more like Tears. A little sadder. No ticking delay at. So I made one variation patch in the library because when I came to Tears and I played it, I was like, that's not very sad. You got delays tacking and hitting you all the time. So I made a variation. Right? AAS Lounge Visitor is really good. That's another one that is DSP based. I think I have. Do I have you Lounge? I don't remember if they sent that to me or not. I might not. I don't think I can show that. There's a number of Arturia has. I don't even know if I tried the Arturia one. I didn't really dig it, so I don't think I kept it. Did I keep it in here? Oh, stage 73. So here's Arturia's variation on the theme. Let's mute. This is more sample based. I believe, maybe not. Here's clean. Now this does have advanced, where you can go in and you have control over the different models. So you can actually, this is the synthesis, DSP based, very well done. But it's also sample based. If you notice, it sounds like it. Some of them sounded more like there were steps of samples, but Arturius is really nice. I like this. A friend of mine that works for Korg, Jerry Kowarski, worked on the voicing for some of these patches. But I don't have Lounge Lizard, sorry. Yeah, Waves has one that's pretty good. Keyscape is incredible. Keyscape is definitely, but that's 100% sample based. So Keyscape. Oh, what did I do? I think I lost Logic. Oh, it crashed. Oops. Something didn't agree with my memory. Oh, there's a bug log. I'll save that to send off in the future. But Keyscape is really great. It's 100% sample based, so it's a very different way it plays. Keyscape. Let's see if I can get it to load without crashing. I mean, it has maybe the most accurate of a real Rhodes. They sampled these so nicely. There's no doubt. There's another one here as well, the Rhodes Classic. Once again, you hit it hard, it still is nice. Now, compare this. See if you can tell the difference. Let's go to El Piano. Let's go to one of the standards, like modern, clean. Let's load that as a new UNIFY layer, just instrument one layer so I can solo. So you have all this range in here. When you get to samples, they did a lot of layers, so it's nice, and it's got that, it's got some kick in there. There's no 10. Let's see. Compare that to here. I'd take Keyscape personally. It's just so lovely everywhere. And the thing with Keyscape is you have all the other instruments that come with the library. Keyscape still is just a great, if you're a keyboard player, you'll want to have this for the Wurlitzer. Anyway, I shouldn't be showing that when I'm trying to show something else, but you know, it's all compare, and I just wish it had, when you hit harder, it's like that's the nature you get for the. Which is nice, but it doesn't have quite the same range of voice as samples when it's really well sampled. All right. Yes, there's so many pianos. My gosh, you know. Yeah, the V8 from Rhodes was the one I played it. I downloaded the demo, and when you hit hard, it got a little bit too ugly. But that's why it's good to download the demos of these things and try them out. Because keyboard is just such a subjective thing, and what music are you using it for? Are you with a band? Are you solo? Are you using it, with Groove Summit or something like that? By the way, these types of sounds, if you go to Groove Summit, this is really fun. Like, go to one of the grooves in the Camp C3, because that's the acoustic drum kit. These lo-fi grooves are really, really cool. So if you go like lo-fi, light, B, and slow it down because it's default at 120. So it's fun. You can have a good time. So yeah, Piano Tech is very, very light. I want to find a Rhodes. I've been looking for one and haven't found one to buy, and when you find one, people put on reverb for $7,500 or some crazy price. So anyway, too many pianos and not enough time. Good. I agree 100%. Very true. Very true. All right. Well, thank you all for joining me. Let's do our shout outs real quick. Shout out from wherever in the countries you are out from Eagle, Idaho. Thank you for your support. I should point out, because I do have a website, I always forget to. So Groove Summit is available at my website, plugingroovy.com. It's available. It's still at its introductory price. It's now $69 until April 6th, 1 week from tomorrow. So pick this up if you want. I've updated here number in the, I need to well, up here it says it's now updated. Version 1D is what you'll find when you log into the website. When you log in, by the way, let's see, go log in. You'll see it show up as, let's see if this does it right. Where are you guys calling from? Okay, Massachusetts, Finland. Right on. All of them was taken. That's awesome. Yeah, so you can see here on the libraries you own after you log into the website, version 1D. That's what you will download, drag. It will update. It will update the patches and not erase anything that you've added that's new. Where are we at? Springfield, Illinois. Dwight, good to see you, man. Good to see all of you guys. I hope this was helpful. I got deeper into a bit of a tutorial kind of a vein, so I hope you guys like that. Mark in Colorado. Thank you, Spiegel. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's very, very fun. I love Groove, and I haven't taken it this far in UNIFY, but it felt like it was time to see if we couldn't, and it blew me away with how much flexibility we can get into in having grooves that it's just easy to just go, oh, I want a different snare. And now just want snare dead. I can go down here to the dance in the C4 camp. And just find the groove that you want. If you don't like the kick, double click here, say, I want a dance kick. So you scroll down the drum maps to C4 kicks, break beats, heartbeats. The future is these really cool DSP created kicks that are nice and stanky. Hi-hats. I want a different set of hi-hats. So I just click the list for drum maps, go down to the Camp 4. There's all these hi-hat maps. So in seconds, you can change to anything you want. It's very, very fun. If you want to save it, just go save as and put your initials at the end and go save as and save. that's the easiest way to make your own variations, is put initials or some sign that you know that it's different. The other thing that you can do, if you want to update the actual kit patch itself, say for this, I changed the snare and I want to always be called up with a different snare. Like, I want that, and I want the reverb to be a little bit louder. If I like it this way, I could right-click, delete this patch, okay, delete, save, save as, save. I've now updated that patch to my own version. That you can do this with any of the libraries if you want to call up something different and stuff like that. Oh, thank you, Kulubi. That's very nice of you. Kubele. I love that name. I love side sticks. And, you know, I got some really good Kraken ones for this library. So yeah, when you get to the, let's see, if we go down here, these, like the, is it like light? This one here has just stanky. And there's round robins, there's different samples in it and stuff. What's fun, if you have this and like Guitars 3, Mega Magic Guitars 3, this with this United Bliss is just so fun. I you know, I had a hard time finishing this library because I started playing patches. So I could just play forever. And I can't wait to sample Celine and get some of this vibe on a beautiful hollow body guitar. So that will be something I do later this summer. I can't wait. That'll be a good time. Good time. Thank you for showing up, Celine. I saw Celine on a Facebook post. Hi, Athena. My doggy showed up. You want to say hi to Athena real quick? Come here. Come here. Let me pick you up. There you go. She used to be a puppy, huh? You ready for your bath? We're going to go get a bath. She's all excited because we're going to go get a bath today. So, all right. Big girl. All right. Thank you all for joining. It's good to see you. I look forward to these live streams as much as you guys do, I hope. So thanks again for joining, and we will see you next week. Let's see. I'm not doing anything silly for April Fools, so don't worry. I don't have any crazy announcements and stuff like that. Where is the end? It never ends. Are there any brushworks? No, I didn't do brushes. I should have. I have brushes. I'm not an expert with brushes, so I wasn't sure about that stuff, so I didn't. Thank you, Rob. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. I kind of like, you know, how far can I take drums? And turns out it's pretty far. All right, I'm going to go. I'll see you all later. Thank you for hanging. I hope the lessons and knowledge help. And may the groove be with you always. All right.